Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Madness live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Golem F. Michael Fletcher alongside my good buddy Anthony Florio. We are awaiting the arrival of Michael Bullock. If he does come in, then great, and we'll catch up on what he missed. If we don't, then actually, all right, no, he is actually here. So just give me one moment. All right, the gang is all here. So we do have a lot to talk about tonight. Obviously, we got AEW, we got NXT, we do have a Bruins beat and a Celtics chat, and good news on two fronts on that. Especially on the Bruins beat, as the Bruins does save off elimination. It's now 3 games to 2, and there will be a game 6. And more importantly, on the Celtics chat, which will be our main event of the evening, celebrations among the gang green of Celtic Nation, as for the third consecutive year, the Boston Celtics are going to the Eastern Conference Finals. They knock off the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, winning the series 4 games to 1, ending it in 5. We will get into all that here tonight. Obviously, we need to start off with NXT, so that's exactly how we're going to jump off this show. And we started it off with a beatdown segment. Yeah, so once we started, as the show goes on the air, we find out that that Noam Dar got jumped. Noam Dar got jumped, got beaten down. It basically, it looks like their metaphor was basically saying this was Trick Williams. Trick Williams caused the attack. Trick Williams was responsible for the beatdown. Lash wasn't really having it. He like, no, that cannot be Trick. There's no way he would do such a thing like that. Everybody else was thinking it was Trick Williams. Me, I even have to say, I got my doubts. I think this might be a metaphor setup. I don't think Trick had anything to do with that. I don't think don't get me wrong. Trick could be a few things, but to back jump somebody, maybe that was about a year ago. Trick Williams would do such a dastardly thing like that, but not now. He's the NXT champion. He's the most over guy on the roster. I don't think he would belittle himself to jump to do a beatdown attack on Noam Dar. If it's for payback for what happened last week, do like an eye for an eye thing, okay, I could see that, but not in that level and everything else. But it looked like Noam Dar was hot dogging it as I don't normally say those words, but it sounds like he was hot dogging it. Trying to say, "Oh, I've been shot. Please, somebody help me." Yeah, Academy Award performance there, Dar. That's all I'll say about that. I'll give you a golf clap for it. Anyway, starts out with Sol Ruca versus Izzy Dame, qualifying match for the NXT North American Championship, which, oh, by the way, will be a ladder match at NXT Battleground. Of course, that's going to be coming up in just a matter of weeks from the Apex, the UFC Apex, Las Vegas, Nevada. And when it was all said and done, Sol Ruca winning the match at 5 minutes and 38 seconds. Look, it was all right. It was a fine match. It wasn't anything to speak of, but Sol Ruca, obviously, highest ranked, #1 girl coming out of that combine. They basically made her look like she was $1,000,000, and right away, you're looking at maybe the odds-on favorite to win the North American title. But it was still a fine match. Obviously, there's some other people that we got to wait for, because it looks like it's going to be 6 spots. So basically, you're basically the top 12. So I think it went 1 versus 12, 2 versus 11. So we're going that kind of route, NCAA tournament style, guys. So whoever wins their matches moves on to the ladder match at NXT Battleground. And Sol Ruca, the first lady to punch her ticket through, Well done. I would say about 2.25, 2.5 stars. Anthony Florio. Sol Ruca punches her ticket to Vegas, winning it in 5:38.
Well, I'll tell you, MF, while most are aware of how good Sol Ruca is, Izzy Dame showed out in this match. It looked smooth and consistent against the high flyer. The action flew by, and the finishing sequence was phenomenal. It's just a shame that it could not go longer. The two had so much more to give. Both are likely to stand out in this new generation of NXT's women's division. Ruka needed to win here as she stands out as a front runner, maybe the front runner, to capture the Women's North American Championship. The unexpected transition into the Soul Snatcher could be a sign that the move can become WWE's next RKO, delivering big out of nowhere highlights. So, not much more for me to say. Fun little sprint, 2.5 stars. That's my rating. So, Mr. NXT, Michael Bullock, I know you're on a major high right now. I think we all know why, but thoughts anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'll say that for when we get to the Bruins beat and the Celtics chat. But right now we're here to talk some wrestling. So, yeah, 2.5 stars. Fun little sprint. I would have loved to see more out of this, but at the end of the day, the right person went over. Sol Ruca is could be one of the favorites, but let's wait and see what happens when the other qualifying matches to see who else gets in there. So, nothing more for me to say. It's yours, Fletch.
All right. And then we have a little bit of a backstage segment. It was Ava. Ava was not really happy with the D'Angelo family. Making Stacks the impromptu referee in that situation. The poor referee, Tony D was saying, oh, it wasn't anything bad. The ref had bronchitis. Bro, you stuffed him in a freezer. In an ice bucket or an ice chest type of a thing. Obviously that wasn't gonna fly, and he dropped a hammer on him. He's like, okay, I want to strip you of your right at the Heritage Cup, and then they were like, wait a minute, you can't do that. You already advertised the fight. You cannot do false advertising. That'd be bad for NXT. That'd be bad for the sponsors. And I think Shawn Michaels would take a little bit of some heat from Triple H for not delivering on the goods. I think Michael Bullock would even be like, hey, wait a minute, these guys did something wrong. You can't reward them for something like that. But he understood. So she hits him in the pocket. 20 stacks. $20,000 fine. Ouch. The wallet got a little lighter. However, they were able to pay it off. They basically, so Tony D'Angelo was like, hey, Riz. She pulled out an envelope, manila envelope. It says that the money is all there and then some. So it looks like there was a little bit of some with interest. Maybe an extra $5,000 he threw, make it $25K. So just to be on the good side of Ava, and just to agree that, hey, look, tonight when it comes to the title fight, when the Heritage Cup is on the line, there's going to be no monkey business. It's going to be straight up one-on-one. My guys will not get involved in that fight. All right, Tony D, are you really going to be can we assure you the family's not going to get involved? I'm not, sometimes I can trust you, sometimes I can't trust you as much as I can want to throw you. That's how I feel about you right now. But anyway, next up, we had OTM versus Idris Analfi and Malik Blade. It was OTM winning the match. They win this. And a surprise, 10 minutes and 46 seconds. Anthony Florio. You would think that maybe the Sol Ruca fight would get that much time. No, they gave it to the tag team fight. Good match, too.
Yes, it was. 3.25 to 3.5 stars for me. I do have some constructive criticism, though, however. The match never really got going, like Anafe and Blade have shown in the past. OTM remains a work in progress as the two can hit the moves, but haven't found the right rhythm to deliver great matches. The action was solid enough between two talented teams, but more should have been possible with the time they had. NXT has repeatedly undervalued Inafi and Blade, who have more value to the tag team division. While this was not the time to give them a win, selling the bad luck of the duo, the time should come soon to push them into the title scene. Inafi struggled to get over his worry about bad luck in the locker room, and a fight broke out between the corner women, Brindley Reese and Jada Parker, as the match went to commercial break. And the fight continued after the break until both were sent to the back. Both were sent backstage. And next week, those two are going to throw down in another NXT North American Women's Championship ladder match qualifiers. So they'll have their chance to to get at each other. So I'm actually going to give it 3 to 3.25 stars. So that's the best I can go on this one. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, big win for OTM in 10:46.
Yeah, definitely a big win for OTM. But I mean, like you said, the match was good, but you even said the match never really got going. But all in all, I mean, it was good for what it was. But yeah, OTM gets a big win. I mean, many people wonder when will. Yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to say on it. So I'm just gonna give it to you, Fletch.
Yeah, I think it was a fun match. OTM just had their moments, and but I can say one thing is for sure. They would never. They will have their moments. I do like OTM. I think they're getting better. They're starting to grow on me a little bit. Scripps, is the star of the group. We gotta see how he plays out. He's done a lot. He's done really well in NXT. Jada Parker, I don't know what it is about this baby girl, but I'm liking her more and more week in and week out. And Florio, I think you're starting to notice why I'm taking a liking to this one more than anybody else. And I know you're thinking, what does he see in this girl? What does he see? Is there something? I know you're trying to put the finger on it, but there's something about her, and I like it. I don't know. There's something about Jada Parker that's really caught my eye about her, and I hope she actually goes through next week and gets into that ladder match. But we'll see. Next up, three stars. Next up, Ivy Nile versus Lash Legend. This was also another qualifier match. Lash Legend goes through. She wins it 3 minutes and 54 seconds. Michael Bullock, it is all yours.
I'll give this about 1.5. I mean, this was just way too short for my liking, but obviously they wanted to get Lash Legend over and show her dominance, and who knows, Lash Legend is probably one of the favorites to win the women's North American title. So we'll see what happens with that. So it's yours, Fletch.
I wish they gave the women a little more time on this one. This could have been an absolute, because both of them are showing a lot of improvement. They're definitely a lot better than they were when they first started, where they were green as grass. They had some clunky stuff and everything else. But Lash Legend and Ivy Nile, they did really well with the time that they had. I just wish they would have given them more time. I think this match never got off first gear. And if they really would have given them the opportunity, I think this would have been a special match, at least better than what we got. Like I said, it was pretty stagnant, disappointing, yes, but the right person won. Lash Legend deserves the opportunity. She deserves the chance at going after the North American title. I'm good with that. I'm on the 1.5 star train level. Florio, it's yours.
1.5 to 2 for me. I'll tell you what. Ivy Nile was working overtime in this match to get in what she could. Unfortunately, with 3 minutes, that did not amount to enough to show what she has. Still, she did most of the work before Legend hit her finisher to win. There was potential here for a lot more. Legend was always going to win. These qualifiers will be mostly predictable, but they can deliver good matches given time. And Ivy Nile impressively reversed a top rope chokeslam attempt into a diving bulldog. That's the only real observation I had out of this. So 1.5 to 2 for me. So with that, MF, we move on to, well, speaking of the Metaphor, we had another member of Metaphor in action. Originally, it was supposed to be Noam Dar against Javon Evans, but Noam Dar taken out, and Oro took his place.
Yeah, Oro Mensah, he had Jakara Jack alongside him against the aforementioned Javon Evans, and Javon Evans winning the match in 10 minutes and 12 seconds. Let's just say the girls tried to be a little naughty, and Trick Williams was about to whoop that trick. And it was basically, he's like, yeah, nope, don't even think about it. Don't try to pull something stupid. No, girls, especially you, Lash. Don't even think about it, honey. I don't want to bend you over my knee and give you a little 10 whacks on the keister. Like, he was more than willing to do it. I know him. So he basically broke in, tried to stop it, and Javon Evans picked up the win. It was a big win for him. So good victory, good win. Hey, it could have been better in certain areas, but hey, it was still a fine match. I'll give it about 2 3/4 to 3. I liked it. I thought it was a good fight. Nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, Javon Evans, looking good, man. I think this kid's got a future in NXT.
I agree 100%. While Javon Evans versus Noam Dar might have been a better match, it was smart to pivot to a bout that could get the young OG a big win. He has impressed in every outing so far, and this was no different. Both men were flying, and Mensah was very giving, putting over the speed and impact of Evans. This booking seems to indicate Evans could start working more with Trick Williams, which is a smart pairing. It could get the young OG on TV weekly while setting up a fun story of the rookie learning under the NXT champion. Mensah went for a springboard moonsault but missed. Evans laid him out with a springboard cutter. Mensah barely rolled outside. And then Trick and Evans shook hands after the match. This was 3 1/4 for me, teetering on 3.5. So one of the fights of the night for sure. So not much more to say. Michael Bowick, big win for the young OG, Javon Evans.
Yeah, big win for him. 3 1/4. Yeah, when you get a win over Oro Mensah, I mean that's a big win for him. So definitely mad respect shown by the champ to Evan. So yeah, nothing more for me to say. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah. Like we said, we're just gonna move right on along. Next up on the fight card, what we had. All right. Well, we had a really good promo segment between started out with Wesley, interrupted by Obafemi. Then we had the other guys. We had Ivar showing up. Then we also had Josh Briggs. So obviously, and they actually setting it up. So next week, triple threat between the 3 challengers. The winner of that match will get to face off with Obafemi. It looks like that will be set for Battleground at the UFC Apex. That might be coming down in the very near future. So next up, we did have a tag team match, as it was the OC, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson. They went up against 2 members of Chase University, Riley Osborne and Ridge Holland. When it was all said and done, winners of the bout in 5 minutes and 14 seconds. Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, the OC, wins it. Who gets to lead this off? Is this for you, Florio? Is this yours? I believe it is. It is. All right. It's all yours.
2 to 2.5 for me. The action in this match was fine, but the lack of reaction from the NXT crowd made a major statement on this one. Ridge Holland continues to struggle to sell himself as a babyface, and Riley Osborne is by far the least interesting member of Chase U. The two had no chemistry in and out of story. The result was obvious as the OC continued to build up wins for a likely NXT Tag Team Championship challenge someday. possibly they could be the next challengers for Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Gallows and Anderson interrupted a friendly conversation between Nathan Frazier, Axiom, and Rich Holland. They challenged Holland to find a tag partner. Andre Chase told Riley Osborne that he should team with Rich Holland to settle the differences between them. The NXT crowd was completely silent for Holland's hot tag sequence. 2 to 2.5 for me. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, 2.5. So yeah, you pretty much said what you said, Florio. So it's your Sledge.
Yeah, this was about 2.5. I thought they did a really good job. I thought it could have gone down a different way, but at the end of the day, I think they did really good under the circumstances. So, am I sold that Rich Holland is definitely going to be, a member, or is going to be at the end being a loyal member to this crew? I don't think so. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I think they did a fine job with it. So we'll just move right on along. Next up, we had Lola Vice going one-on-one with Carly Bright. Lola Vice winning the match in 3 minutes and 10 seconds. But after the match was over, Natalya and Carmen Petrovic, they showed up and it was a brawl. It was a cat fight. Michael Bullock channeling his Joey Styles, trying his best, yelling out cat fight, cat fight. But hey, he did an okay job. He did an okay job. I'll give him that. You did a good job. You did a good job on it, Bullock, with that breaking out.
It's the best I can do.
Hey, you did a good job with it, man. So at the end of the day, they did make a match. It is official. Next week, it will be a tag team fight between Carmen and Natalya versus Shayna and Lola. Oh my goodness, the fur is going to fly next week. Michael Bullock, it's all yours as Lola wins in 3:10.
Yeah, obviously this was the debut of Carly Bright, but obviously they fed her to Lola Vice, and yeah, we saw what happened there. So 1 star for me on this, but next week's tag team match will be good. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Yes, sure. Didn't really do much. I think the post fight was better than the actual match. So nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
Few NXT wrestlers look good in their first in-ring action, but Carly Bright overachieved in what was ultimately a squash match. She has impressive athleticism and solid timing. This was an understandably quick match, but it served its purpose. Vice picked up another win in her bid to challenge Roxanne Perez next, while the story with Carmen Petrovic and Natalya may finally be reaching its conclusion. Early in the night, Petrovic interrupted Lola Vice during an interview to fight her. As officials broke them up, Natalya attacked Shayna Baszler. Carly Bright asked NXT General Manager Ava to give her a match with Lola Vice after getting into it during the backstage brawl. NXT showed a quick vignette to highlight Bright's happy demeanor, and Natalya and Petrovic were watching backstage. Now then, MF, you said a few minutes ago you mentioned how much of a liking you were taking to Jada Parker.
Yes.
Well, for me, it's Carmen Petrovic for me. I mean, it's not just it. Well, first things first. Obviously, it's the beauty, duh. But number two, there's more to it than the beauty. There's just something about her background that, in addition to her beauty, just that's all I can say. So, and of course, also the fact that she's got those Canadian roots in her as well. So yes, sir. I mean, that's a triple threat for me. So, my kind of girl. That's all I'm gonna say. So, MF, you have your thing for Jada Parker. For me, it's Carmen, and I cannot wait to see this tag team match next week. This will definitely be the blow off to this feud here. It's gonna be something else, and of course, I'll be pulling for Carmen and Natty. So hopefully they'll get the win, but you never know. We'll see. So
yeah.
So not much more here. This was a 1 to 1.5. So not quite a delicious squash, but a decent squash to say the very least. And now, folks, MF, we move on to the main event. A rare Heritage Cup title match on free television.
Yes, indeed. So we start, and it is between the reigning champion, Charlie Dempsey, and Tony D'Angelo. So here's how it broke down. In round one, Tony D'Angelo scored the first fall in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. That gave him the 1-0 lead. Then in round number 3, in 2 minutes and 10 seconds, Charlie Dempsey tied it up, getting the point on a roll-up to end it. Then round 4, nothing happened. We go to round 5, and we have a decision. The winner in round 5 in 1 minute and 7 seconds into the 5th round, and new NXT Heritage Cup champion, the Don. Tony D'Angelo wins it all. He wins the trophy. And with that said, I believe who leads off? Is this does this go to Michael Bullock? I believe.
Who started on the last one?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
I think it is me.
Yeah, all right, Bullock, it's yours. Yeah.
Oh, what was the total time?
107 in round number 5.
All right, yeah. I thought this was a good main event. I mean, I thought it could have been better in some areas, but yeah, congratulations to Tony D, the new Heritage Cup champion. So I'll give this about 2.5 to 3. So it's your Sledge.
2.5 to 3. Solid main event. Good match. Nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
I got sidetracked a little bit. I don't know. Did you say the magic words, Monsoon, or do you not really acknowledge this?
I mean, yeah, it's history made. I can't call it an unprecedented crowning because it's. I don't know what to say about the Heritage Cup. That's all I'm just gonna leave at that. You know.
Okay, that's fair enough. I was just curious. That's all. Anyways, for me, I know I might be. I know I'm probably going to be the lone wolf on this one when I say this, but this was the fight of the night for me.
I agree with that.
Oh, good. Okay. 3.5 stars for me. This was the best Heritage Cup match in a good while, helped by fresh competitors. Fresh competitors, key words. Fresh competitors fighting for the accolade. Charlie Dempsey was the leader here, wearing down the Don with technical offense. It did end faster than expected, but this could set up for a more extensive rematch with No Quarter Catch Crew back to full strength. Tony D'Angelo needed to win this after coming so close in his bid for the NXT Championship when he came up short against Ilya Dragunov at Stand and Deliver last month. However, it would not be surprising if the No Quarter Catch Crew managed to get it back, as the group's gimmick fits the cup more in the long term. And as MF mentioned earlier in the show, Ava fined the D'Angelo family for their actions last week, and Adriana Rizzo, another one that I'm taking a liking to right now, immediately ready to pay. In an interview, Charlie Dempsey promised to make Tony D'Angelo pay for what happened with Damon Kemp and Miles Bourne. Charlie Dempsey targeted the left arm of the Don, nearly making him tap out with an armbar in round 2. And the broadcast abruptly cut to backstage after the finish to show that Wesley, Ivar, and Josh Briggs were taken out. Whoa, wait till you hear who they were taken out by. So, which is all I'm going to say. And yes, I hear you snickering there, you. I hear you. Because a little spoiler alert, these guys are personal favorites of good old MF Michael Fletcher. So I'll tell you that right now. So 3.5 stars, fight of the night from me. I know we have one small loose end to tie up before we get to the overall review, MF, and nothing left for me to say except your boys are back.
Well, yeah, the boys are back, and let's just say they just caused a little bit of some chaos at the end. You didn't know who it was, but you know what? You found out very fast who it was. It was Mark Coffey, Joe Coffey, and Wolfgang. Gallus is back in NXT. Michael Bullock, you thought it was chaos. Now the Gallus boys are back, and they are back for trouble.
Do you think that answers the question of who attacked Noam Dar earlier?
I think so too. I think that might have taken, because everybody was thinking that maybe it was, but yeah, it's very possible. Gallus might have been responsible for Noam Dar getting jumped too. So yeah, it's very possible that this might be a hurting spree, as they say. Gallus boys don't like to leave a mess. They don't like to leave a mess around in the wake. They just love to leave destruction in their path, and that's what we just saw.
Yeah, and unfortunately for those four, they found out the hard way.
You don't with the Gallus boys.
And I certainly as hell don't want to mess with them because, let's just say it's not going to end well.
No.
So that's all I'll say on that, because I don't want to, because the Gallus boys, that they are three tough sons of you-know-what. And if you screw around with them, let's just say a beatdown is coming. I really don't know what else is there to say on that.
All I can say was when I saw that it was Gallus, I started marking out. I'm like, oh no, they're back. Oh, this is not good. So, and I was salivating over what they're about to do. So, yeah, nothing more to say. Overall review, pretty damn good show. I mean, I know there was a couple of matches that were a little short, so obviously disappointment, no doubt. Could have been better in certain areas, but at the end of the day, they did a fine job. So I'd probably give this about I'd probably say about 7 out of 10. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll give it 7 as well. This was not expected to be an exciting episode of NXT on paper, but multiple matches over-delivered. Moreover, everything mattered on a night that felt like it was driving toward Battleground. Tony D'Angelo captured the Heritage Cup, finally getting back on track with the best match with the fight of the night alongside Charlie Dempsey. Sol Ruca and Lash Legend punched their tickets to Battleground while setting a solid tone for the qualifying matches. Javon Evans showed out again and may have found his way into the main event scene by helping out the NXT champion Trick Williams. The NXT North American Championship scene is heating up, including the return of Gallus to end the night with a genuine surprise. Overall, the Gold brand delivered on the promises of the night. While the NXT Championship scene is not quite shining yet, the rest of the talented roster is stepping up. Solid 7 out of 10 for me as well. Mr. NXT, Michael Bullock, it's only fitting you have the final say on this, and then we'll get into AEW Dynamite from Everett, Washington.
Yeah, 7. 7 for me as well. I mean, yeah, there were some matches that were short, but all in all, I thought it was a good show. So nothing more to say. Let's get into Dynamite.
All right, we start with the first of the night for Dynamite, as we had was Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley going up against Jeff Cobb and Kyle Fletcher, and it was Moxley and Danielson winning the match in 12 minutes and 55 seconds. And all of a sudden, right after the match was over, Konosuke Takeshita showed up, jumped Moxley, and basically Cobb and Fletcher joined in on the beatdown all until Claudio Castagnoli made the save. And I believe Konosuke Takeshita has declared, I don't know if this is official or not, but they did challenge Jon Moxley for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. So there's really nothing more to say. So Anthony Florio, this was easily 3.5 stars. It's yours.
And what was the time again?
12:55.
All right. Jeff Cobb is someone who only appears for AEW on occasion, so it was fun to see him mix it up with the American Dragon and IWGP champion Jon Moxley. Kyle Fletcher, as usual, worked well with everyone. This may have started with chaos, but this ended up being a well-paced bout that allowed them to sell without feeling rushed. The show took place in Danielson's suburb hometown of Seattle. It was really Everett, but I guess it's a suburb of Seattle. So the crowd was popping for everything he did. But it was Jon Moxley who scored the pin for his team on Kyle Fletcher. It would have made a lot more sense for Jeff Cobb to eat the pin instead of an active Ring of Honor champion, but the outcome would be the same either way. Konosuke Takeshita showed up for a post-match attack, but Claudio Castagnoli made the save. And Jeff Cobb's legs were almost too big for Bryan Danielson to properly apply a figure four, and Cobb's counter to Danielson's Boone Psycho knee looked great. Solid 3.5 stars. Great way to start the show. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, it's yours as the BCC started off with a bang. Moxley and Danielson defeating Jeff Cobb and Kyle Fletcher in 12:55.
Yeah, 3.5 stars. I mean, a nice way to start it off for AEW Dynamite with a big win for Moxley and Danielson over Kyle Fletcher and Hobbs. So yeah, it looks like Takeshita is looks like he's challenging Jon Moxley for that IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. So nothing more to say. It's your sledge.
Yeah, so we'll see. Next up we had was the Young Bucks versus Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal in an eliminator match. And it was the AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks, winning the match. So, Anthony and Florio, it is all yours.
11 minutes and change for that one?
Nope, 8:30.
8:30. Oh, okay. All right. This was a competitive fight that never felt like it favored one team more than the other, even if the outcome was obvious from a mile away. As expected, the Young Bucks scored the win. And then Nicholas and Matthew grabbed the microphone and said they had bad news for Christopher Daniels. They fired him from AEW, but said he would get severance for 30 days. They also had his security escort him out of the building. The crowd seemed split on whether this was good or not. It's wild how underused Matt Sydal has been in every promotion. He is one of the best high flyers in the world and never gets booked consistently. Jack Perry was on commentary during the match and was giving Tony Schiavone a hard time. He dumped a drink on Schiavone before leaving. Yeah, 40-year veteran there, scumbag.
Yeah, what a complete and utter scumbag Jack Perry is.
And there was an awkward moment when the Young Bucks missed a tag and the announcers brought attention to it, but it was minor and didn't affect anything. I can give this about I'll give it about 3 stars for the effort, but oh man, as if we didn't need another reason to hate these guys even more. Let me tell you something about Christopher Daniels here. Christopher Daniels is and MF, you know how high I have been on this guy for what, almost 20 years now?
For 20 years, yeah.
Since TNA, since he was one of the greatest X Division champions of all time and the best wrestler to never win the TNA Heavyweight Championship. He should have gotten at least one run with that thing, I'm telling you. But story for another day. But not only a great worker, like I said, one of the greatest X Division champions of all time. His legendary matches with AJ Styles and Samoa Joe in TNA. Of course, the Unbreakable 3-Way, still to this day, the greatest match in TNA history. And a guy who was doing, I guess, some front office stuff for them, I guess. And you throw him away like he's useless. He ain't useless, man. I'm telling you, he's not useless. But that definitely rubbed me the wrong way, especially given how much I respect and admire and appreciate the athletic and wrestling ability of this man, who I have watched for a good almost 20 years. Like I said, going back to TNA and then here in AEW. So definitely calling foul on that. And I'm also calling foul on Jack Perry. Yeah, you take your little drink there and you and you nonchalantly just dump it on Tony Schiavone like he's the guy at the Ferris wheel, like the guy at the carnival running the damn Ferris wheel.
Mm-hmm.
40-year veteran, my dude. That's a man who has 40 years worth of experience, going all the way back to the very first Starrcade in 1983 when he was interviewing Ric Flair. And he had a lot of interview segments, but most notably interviewing Ric Flair after he won the World Heavyweight Championship from Harley Race in that incredible cage match. But I digress. And a guy who's been the voice of our childhood and adolescent years. I mean,
yeah,
WWF, obviously, of course. He was most well known for WCW, especially during the Monday Night Wars, the Monday Nitro and Thunder and all that. And yeah, clearly Jack Perry has no respect for this individual. Shame on you. And
he's got no respect for anybody.
Yeah, they don't. But at least they did something that at least I don't have a reason to be upset with them at the end tonight, because they actually did something they haven't done in a while, and I'll explain later. But it's a 3-star match, fine match, but what they did after the match, firing Christopher Daniels, and then that flagrant show of disrespect to one of the greatest announcers and one of the greatest commentators and interviewers of all time, and the great Tony Schiavone. Yeah, no. That's not going to sit well with me. I'm not going to stand for that. 3 stars. Bullock, let's move it along here.
And what would his father think of this new attitude of Jack Perry?
Luke is rolling over in his grave right now. I guarantee it to you.
Yeah, he would give him a whipping that he probably deserves. I mean, you don't do something like that to a veteran for a long time like Tony Schiavone, a guy who's well respected by his peers and by those in the wrestling industry. And for you to do that, yeah, and you call yourself the scapegoat? Yeah, scapegoat my ass. I mean, I get, and I said it before and I'm going to say it again, I get you have sour grapes over the whole CM Punk backstage incident, but there's an old saying, grow up, you idiot, and move on. But now you want to take it out on so many people that felt like that turned their back on you. You're the reason why people turn their back on you, because of stupid, idiotic things like this. And then Christopher Daniels. I mean, I don't know the guy that much, but I've heard it from you, and from you, Florio, and you, Fletch. This guy is a hard worker, and he's well respected, especially in Impact Wrestling, and what he does with AEW, and the Young Bucks fire him because he's a quote unquote part of the toxic culture. No, I mean, come on, you really think Christopher Daniels is a toxic culture in AEW? Anyone?
No. I mean, the thing is, he hardly ever has done anything in AEW that I know, like, that would give us the belief that he's toxic. So no. I mean,
the real toxic people are the elite.
Yeah.
They're the real toxic that's running around AEW. And yeah, I get why they fired him. Because Christopher Daniels was standing up for what he believes in. He stood up to the Young Bucks, and now the Bucks are basically firing him for that. Get the you-know-what out with that crap. As if we can't find another way to really hate these guys. And I'm telling you right now, on a scale of 1 to 10 for my hatred for the Elite.
Oh, it's probably up there. It has to be up there. No doubt.
10. It's more than a 10.
It's definitely up there.
Yeah. I mean, someday, guys, these four are gonna get the biggest ass kicking of a lifetime from and they're gonna deserve it. 2.5 to 3 is my rating for this, but yeah, for the way the Elite disrespected Christopher Daniels and Tony Schiavone, yeah, screw you bastards. I'm done. It's yours, Fletch.
It's like I said, the Daniels thing definitely caught me by surprise because that was totally unexpected. The thing that I wonder is, what is going to be the play for Christopher Daniels? Was it because maybe the contract's running out and maybe he might be heading back to TNA? Is it possible that they just want to use him as that he'll no longer be like an in-ring talent and maybe have him work as an agent behind the scenes? I don't know. It kind of, there's a lot of things that could play out of this. It's just, where do we go from here
But
with Christopher Daniels?
Christopher Daniels, to me, deserves way better than this.
Granted, I agree, but Daniels' career was, I believe, is winding down, Bullock. I mean, he hasn't been utilized that often.
But I get that, but
I mean,
he deserves a better send-off than this.
Well, the thing is that not every wrestler gets the heroic send-off. Remember Kurt Angle? He lost in his last match at WrestleMania.
Oh, don't bring that up. I'm still fuming.
You're the one who brought it up. I'm just gonna play that.
Oh, I know. I'm just telling you, it just brought up bad memories for me.
So, I mean, you open that door, you know I'm not gonna hesitate to walk right through it, Bullock. Come on. So, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Am I angry? Yes. Do I feel like he deserves a better shake? Yes. But the thing is that, again, we don't know what's happening with Christopher Daniels behind the scenes. Is they just going to use him as an agent for AEW? Possible. We don't know. There's just too much stuff going around. Because does anybody know if his contract's running out yet? I don't know it. You guys don't know it. We haven't heard anything about Daniels' contract expiring. So it's not that. Is it that maybe they're we don't know. Or maybe it's just they might be using him for that war down the line when the Elite gets their comeuppance. But we don't know when that's coming. We don't know. Could that be Blood and Guts? Could that be at Double or Nothing? We don't know. All we know is right now, AEW is in this turf war. And unfortunately, Christopher Daniels was a casualty of that turf war. But the thing is he made his intentions really known. He said that he did not agree with anything that happened during the time that the Bucks have been running it. So, of course, the Bucks are going to abuse their power as executive vice presidents. And on top of that, there's no Tony Khan to override this. No, basically, it's a majority call. The Young Bucks got their vote. I know if Omega's around, he would probably veto. He would say, no, you're not going to allow that to happen. But the thing is, there's no Kenny Omega right now. He can't overturn this. Where's Tony Khan? Tony Khan's nowhere to be found. If Tony Khan is there, he could single-handedly override this and say, no, you're not going to do that. So we're going to have to wait and see how this plays out. But right now, while Tony Khan's away, the Young Bucks can do whatever the heck they want. They're going to be running roughshod over AEW for now until Tony Khan shows up. Unless Daddy shows up again, and we know if Daddy shows up, it's game over for everybody. Like, it doesn't matter who the hell you are, it's game over. Because that's the owner of AEW. He oversees everything. He even overrides his own son on that one. So, yeah. There's really nothing more to say. We'll see how it plays out. Next up we had was Hulk versus Sebastian Wolf. Hulk wins in 30 seconds. There's nothing to talk about on that one. It's game over. Yeah. So next up we had was AEW champion Swerve Strickland versus Brian Cage. And it was Swerve Strickland winning the match in 14 minutes and 45 seconds. Good match. Solid fight at the end. And yeah. Really nothing more to say. Of course, then Swerve, after he won the match, grabbed the chair, slammed it over the back or over the shoulder of slammed it over the back and over the shoulder. And then Christian Cage came out trying to, think that they were going to get everything, everything going. And the next thing you know, Christian Cage basically got the leg up. Nick Wayne entered the ring, hits a low blow, and then the beatdown ensues as basically, yeah, it ended up being a beatdown with Christian standing tall at the end. And there's really nothing more to say on this one. It's just, look, Brian Cage is getting a rough rap. There's really nothing more to say. It is what it is. It's just, it was a fine match, 3 to 3.5 stars, and there's really nothing more to say. So, Anthony, it's yours.
3.5, 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. This bout felt like the first time Brian Cage has had a chance to shine on his own in quite some time. He looked good against the AEW World Heavyweight Champion while still selling enough to make him look good. This quickly turned into one of the best things we saw all night and had the crowd on its feet as Swerve hit his finisher for the win. Prince Nana did not come out with anyone and hasn't been seen since Swerve was attacked by the Mogul Embassy. Swerve took a bump on the barricade during the break and ended up tumbling into the crowd. Swerve's suplex to Brian Cage was incredibly impressive because he did it with zero leverage. One of the fights of the night, I would say second best fight of the night here. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. So Michael Bullock, Swerve Strickland, the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, defeating Brian Cage, getting a measure of revenge on his former Mogul Embassy stablemate, and of course now we continue to build to him and Christian at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, 3.5 stars. I mean, this was a good match here. I mean, but yeah, I mean, Christian Cage after that comes out, and then Nick Wayne hits a low blow, and then Christian Cage. Well, let's just say he did something that
he stooped to a new low.
Yeah, he stooped to another low. I mean, what he did was, I mean, he busted him open, and then he rubbed a framed photo of his family on Swerve Strickland's blood, and then asked him if his daughter would be proud of him being an absentee father. Really, you scumbag? This creep. That's what I'm gonna call him now. This creep finds a way to reach a new low every single time with whatever he does. I mean, I get you're trying to make him one of the biggest heels right now, but and Fletch, you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
You don't mess with someone's family.
No.
Bring family into this, that's where I draw the damn line. That's where it becomes personal for me, because I'm so much of a family man. I respect my family so much. But you bring them into anything like this? No. Christian, you are a creep. You are deplorable. You are a disgusting human being. And I wish something bad would happen to you, because something like this, it's not tolerated by me, by Michael Fletcher, and certainly as hell by one Anthony Florio, because we know how much of a family guy Anthony Florio is. And
Yeah.
I'm sure Anthony Florio saw this. I'm sure he would. Me and Florio would love to beat the you-know-what out of Christian Cage right now.
You'd have to get behind me in line there, buddy.
Yeah.
No, I said you and I would do it together.
Oh, yeah, we'll do it together. Yes, absolutely. Don't worry, Bullock. He's going to get his. Don't worry. Double or nothing. He's going to get his.
The Christian's not winning that title.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic. They're not gonna Swerve Strickland earn that right unless the Young Bucks abuse the power and help Christian get this title. The only way that's the only way he's walking out the AEW World Champion, because I think we can honestly say right now, just based off everything that's going on, Swerve is keeping this belt.
Oh, I hope that's the case. But if it goes the other way, like you just said, watch out, because when we do the recap, I am gonna explode big time, and it's not gonna be for the weak of heart. So, Christian, you are the total definition of a creep. Period. End of quotation. End of statement. Fletch, take it before I really go off the deep end on this bastard.
All right. Next up that we do have, guys, is we had a match, and they labeled this as a grudge match. Harley Cameron one-on-one with the AEW Women's Champion, Toni Storm. Toni Storm winning the match in 7 minutes and 10 seconds. Anthony, okay, so this was labeled a grudge match, not a eliminator? What's the difference?
To be honest, I don't know. But what I do know is I'll set this up the best way I can. The AEW Women's Champion was in non-title action tonight when Toni Storm battled Harley Cameron with Saraya, Luther, and Mariah May all banned from ringside. This was billed as a grudge match, and they tried to live up to that by being more physical than usual. Serena Deeb watched from the stage with a smile as Harley Cameron took control of the champ. They worked hard to make this a fun encounter, and Harley Cameron probably looked better here than she has in any of her previous bouts, but it still ended with timeless Toni Storm scoring the win. Harley Cameron looked more aggressive in this bout than we have ever seen her before, and I liked it. So, solid 2.5, teetering on 2 3/4 for this. So, not much more to say here. Michael Volek, predictable outcome. But hey, Harley Cameron looked better than she has recently. But then again, look who she was in the ring with.
Oh, yeah. But can I just say one thing about Harley Cameron? Let's just say she's... I'm trying to be careful with how I say it, that she's probably a little ooh, if you know what I mean. Yeah, you like that, Fletch?
I know you're going with that, Bullock. Yeah. She's not all there. She's beautiful as hell, but she's not all there. She's got a couple of screw looses in the head.
Yeah, some of the things she says, it makes me feel like, huh? What the hell is she talking about?
Yep.
What the hell did she just say?
Yep.
Exactly.
And I exactly know what you mean, because you kind of have to double take half the time, because you're trying to understand her and you're like, does that really make any sense? And honestly, truthfully, I don't think so.
A certain JR saying comes to mind. AMF?
And the thing is, it seems like Saraya is okay with this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, Saraya. I think you might be a little crazy too, just for thinking that. But I digress. So, what was the time again?
Let me see if I can get it. Hold on. Let's see. It was 7:10.
Yeah, 2.5 stars is my rating. I mean, obviously you want to give Toni Storm the momentum going into her matchup with Serena Deeb for the AEW Women's World Title, and like you said, Serena Deeb was there to watch the match, and yeah, so So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, I mean, nice win for Tony Storm, but again, Arlie Cameron is definitely a little crazy, if I might say so.
And to quote CM Punk, I actually dig Crazy Chick. So she would definitely be something right up my alley, and I would not mind one bit. Just saying. Yeah, it was a 2.5-star bout. Definitely a good main event. Well, co-main event. It was a good bout, and we'll move on. Main event of the evening: Okada versus Dax Harwood. Continental title on the line, and it was Okada winning in 16 minutes even. And then the chaos. Obviously, the Elite tried to hit the ring, started a 4-on-1 beatdown, but then Catch Wheeler, Bryan Danielson, they came out. Unfortunately, the numbers were 4-on-3, but then there was a fourth. Darby Allin is back in AEW, and the first thing he did went right after Jack Perry, clipped him with the skateboard right to the gut, and I don't know if there was tax or if there was something on those skateboards, because you know Darby Allin is a little bit of a certifiable nut, but yeah, there might have been some contusion on the rib cage of Jack Perry. So
Who cares?
yeah,
He got what he deserved.
yeah, you can say that. If this was payback for earlier in the night, you got your receipt there, Jack Perry. I hope you enjoy that one. Nothing more to say on that. Michael Bullock, you lead off. Okada wins in 16 minutes, but then after that, all hell broke loose.
Oh yeah, this was to me the fight of the night. I'll give this about 4 stars for this. I mean, look, you had Okada and Dax Harwood in there. You know this was going to be a good match, and then, like you said, the utter chaos afterwards with the Elite, and then of course you had Bryan Danielson and Cash Wheeler, and you're like, well, this is not looking good. And then all of a sudden, we find out who the 4th member is, the returning Darby Allin. And yeah, he gave that skateboard to Jack Perry. Yeah, you got what you deserve, you little bastard. And I'm sure there's going to be more of that with Anarchy in the Arena. And don't forget another thing too. I'm sure that Darby Allin's got some unfinished business with the Young Bucks, continuing from what happened with him and of course the now retired Sting. So yeah, Anarchy in the Arena is definitely going to be crazy, especially now that you got Darby Allin, and which is basically being dubbed Team AEW against the Elite. So yeah, I think we're all in agreement here. I think the 3 of us are pulling for Team AEW in this one. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, I agree. 4.25, 4.5 fight of the night, no doubt about it. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
4 to 4.25. Good, hard-hitting match, but you could see their lack of experience working together in a few spots. There were minor moments that barely stood out, so any complaints anyone could have with this performance are minimal. Rainmaker won by using a low blow behind the ref's back, followed by the Rainmaker clothesline. The Elite came out to attack Harwood. Bryan Danielson and Cash Wheeler tried to help, but were taken down. Darby Allin's music hit, and he attacked Jack Perry with a skateboard. No question about it. Fight of the night for me, 4 to 4.25 stars. Overall review.
Anthony, you lead off.
And by the way,
actually, no, I lead off. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
8.5. Good show. Really good action throughout the night. There was maybe a couple of matches that didn't really matter that much, but at the end of the day, they did it really good. So nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
I forgot to mention Dax Wheeler had one of the better beat the count out moments we have seen in some time, and Okada's Hurricanrana looked uncomfortable for him because he had to roll back over his head instead of rotating all the way through. And by the way, Anarchy in the Arena, perfect match for Darby Allin. That's all I can say on that. So, as if that match couldn't get any more wilder and crazier. And a bit of a surprise. I thought that Claudio was going to take Kingston's place because of that little interview he had on Collision with Lexi Nair. But, well, they went with Darby. So, but it's still going to be fun as hell, though. Anyways, 8.5 for me, too. Tonight's Dynamite spent a lot of time focused on hyping the feuds for the Double or Nothing card. But it also delivered a solid 2 hours of wrestling. Okada versus Harwood and Strickland versus Cage were major highlights. But the opening tag match and even Tony Storm and Harley Cameron added a lot to the show as well. Willow Nightingale powerbombing Mercedes Moné through the table during the contract signing might be the most newsworthy moment coming out of this show, next to the surprise return of Darby Allin. Not only did he have a broken foot, but this guy was also hit by a bus not too long ago. And the fact that he is already cleared to compete again is wild. All in all, decent episode of Dynamite, but it would be easy to understand why some people might feel like at least half of it was underwhelming. It's 8 to 8.5. So with that being said, MF, it's on to Boston.
No.
Oh,
Wait.
hold
Michael
on. You're
Bullock
forgetting
got to
me,
give his
Florio.
review.
Oh, Michael Bullock. That's right. Yes, I forgot.
Getting a little overcarried there, Florio.
Yes, I did. I apologize. All right, Bullock, your thoughts on Dynamite, and then we'll get into what's going to be a very fun night when it comes to the Bruins beat and especially the Celtics chat.
Yeah, 8.5. I mean, this was definitely a good show. I mean, all the wrestling, I thought was good. I mean, yeah, I thought there were some things I thought could have been better, but all in all, very good show. 8.5. Now let's get into it.
All right, and here we go. We're off to the Bruins beat. We started off with the Boston Bruins. Game 5 of the Eastern Conference second round matchup against the Florida Panthers. The Bruins saves off elimination. They win it by the final score of 2-1, and here's how it went down. Started off early, first period. Morgan Geeky getting the goal. Jacob DeBrusque and Charlie McAvoy getting the assist, and they took a 1-0 lead. Then Sam Reinhart in the second period scores the goal at 6:23 to tie the game, and that gave it made it a 1-1 game. Then controversy runs amok again, but this time it benefits the Boston Bruins. Charlie McAvoy getting the goal, Charlie Coyle and Frederick with the assist at 10:25. However, basically what happened was they started flipping out. They started yelling, wait a minute, goalie interference. There was no way Bobrovsky could make a play on the puck. One of the Bruins guys got in the way and interfered. So they went up to Toronto. They went to the situation room, and I know Bruins fans were holding their breath. They come back, and they said, nope, it's a good goal. And the Florida fans are flipping out. They're yelling the bloody murder, saying that's bullshit. That's a screw job. You're screwing us. Well, the NHL gave their reasoning behind it, and here's what they said. They actually said that Sergei Bobrovsky could have made a play on the puck, that he wasn't interfered enough in order for him to make an attempt on the save if it was warranted. They thought that the player for the Bruins did not impede enough that would have made it an unnatural way for Bobrovsky to at least make an attempt at a save if he was able to. So based on all that evidence, they deemed it a good goal and penalized Tampa and penalized Florida for a delay of game on top of that. However, there wasn't anything that happened on that play. And oh, by the way, that controversial goal was the game winner. That gave the Bruins the 2-1 lead, and they made it stick. Jeremy Swayman with a humongous save with about 4 seconds left protected the lead, and that gave the Bruins a 2-1 win. They stay alive in the series. We go back to Boston on Friday night for game number 6, and the shots on goal, Florida 29-28 advantage, and the 3 stars. Sergei Bobrovsky was the number 3 star. The number 2 star was Jeremy Swayman. Charlie McAvoy, the game-winning goal, the number 1 star in this game. Michael Bullock. A few nights ago, we were screaming bloody murder that the Bruins got robbed. This time around, Panthers are yelling, "We got robbed!" But but the thing is, for me, for everybody else, especially in that situation, I think we can all honestly say what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and you're not going to get much sympathy from this panel here tonight.
Yeah, or there's another saying, what goes around comes around. I mean, yeah, a lot of craziness. I mean, I'm sure there are Panthers fans saying this shouldn't have happened. We should be going on to the Eastern Conference Finals, but yeah, the Bruins, they really tough it out. They got the win. They forced the game 6 back at the TD Garden on Friday night. And what is it that we said before, Fletch, when it comes to the Florida Panthers?
You tell me.
You said that this is the game that the Panthers have to win.
Oh, that if they don't finish it in 6, that they're probably goners in 7. Yeah, I still believe it.
Yeah, and just think about it. Remember what happened a year ago. The Bruins had a 3-1 lead, and what happened? They blew that.
They blew it, yeah.
But just think of, and again, if this somehow happens, this would be another what goes around comes around thing. So yeah, I mean, but we got to wait and see what happens with Game 6, and I heard that there's a chance that the captain Brad Marchand could be back for that Game 6. So we'll have to keep an eye on that situation. So nothing more to say. Quick thought from you guys.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. I had my doubts. I had my doubts. I was like, this is over. I mean, you're going back to Florida down 3-1. But hey, much credit to the Boston Bruins. And my player of the game was Charlie Coyle. 10 face-off wins. He had 8 hits, and he also had an assist. Pavel Zacha with 12 face-off wins and a couple of hits. Morgan Geekie with a goal, had 5 face-off wins. Beecher, 3 face-off wins, a couple of hits. Brazel with 4 hits. Frederick with 4 hits. And they definitely turned up the aggression factor at a time when they really needed it. McAvoy, goal and an assist, also had 3 hits. And Wotherspoon with 3 hits as well. And Swayman getting back to showing his early heroics. He started to play like that Jeremy Swayman like we saw in the Toronto series. For the Florida Panthers, Barkov, 12 face-off wins, 3 takeaways. Lundell with 10 face-off wins, couple hits. Luosterainen with 5 hits, a takeaway, and a face-off win. And let's see, a lot of face-off wins. Stenlund had 4 of them and 2 takeaways. Reinhart with a goal, 3 face-off wins. And Bennett with 5 hits. And Verhaeghe, 3 face-off wins, had a couple of hits. And Ekblad with 3 hits. And Forsling, couple hits and a takeaway. And Bobrovsky played well, but not well enough. And now we go back to Boston for a Game 6 that will take place on Friday night at the TD Garden in Boston. And Florida, they got embarrassed. They let one get away. And, they have to go back. They got to do what they did in Games 2, 3, and 4. Get those opportunities, take advantage of them, and put the pedal to the metal, and that's it. So it's a must-win game, really, for both teams. Boston, of course, just looking to avoid elimination again, but it's really more of a must-win for Florida, because if Boston wins and forces this thing back to Florida for a Game 7 on Sunday, those seeds of doubt that have crept into Ranger fans, especially me, they're going to creep in on Florida fans. They're like, oh no, don't tell me what happened, what we did to them a year ago is going to bite us in the ass a year later. If Boston forces Game 7, all bets are off, boys. All bets are off. Game 7, not the sure thing it used to be. You're thinking, oh, home team always wins Game 7. No. We've seen some roadies. So we'll wait and see. But one game at a time, and MF, as you said, it's a must-win for Boston, really. But think about it. It's also, you also have to consider this a must-win for Florida, because if they lose and we get a Game 7, MF, the seeds of doubt are going to creep into them. Don't think they won't.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree. So we'll see. All right. Now we're going to shift gears to the NBA. And with that, we're going to toss it over to Anthony Florio. Closeout game possible at TD Garden tonight. Celtics versus Cavs. Game 5. And Boston has done it. They put Cleveland away. Start the boat, because the Cleveland Cavaliers are gone fishing. The Celtics are going back to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Third consecutive year, MF. Indeed they are. And as if
And
life's going to get any better for Michael Bullock.
And sixth time in the last 8 years.
Sixth time in the last 8 years, indeed. So, all right. So let's break it down. Al Horford wanted to savor the moment. With play stopped and the Celtics' victory no longer in doubt, Horford turned in the direction of his sideline, walked a few paces, stopped, and extended his hands overhead, bringing an already raucous TD Garden crowd to its feet in applause. The task/job was done. Jason Tatum, 25 points and 10 rebounds, 1 assist shy of a triple-double, by the way. And the Boston Celtics defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers 113-98 tonight to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals for the third consecutive year and sixth time in the last 8 years. Horford added 22 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, and 6 of Boston's 19 three-pointers to help the Celtics post their third consecutive win and wrap up the series in 5 games. Let's get into the old box score here. As I stated, for the Celtics, Jason Tatum, double-double, 25 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist shy. He also had 9 assists, and he also had 4 steals on the night. Nearly a triple-double for Jason Tatum. Al Horford could not have picked a better time to have the best game he has had in forever in a day. 22 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks on top of that. Derek White, 18 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Drew Holiday, 13 points. Jaylen Brown, only 11, but he had 7 assists. Peyton Pritchard, 11 off the bench. Cornette with 8 off the bench. And Hauser with 5 points and 4 rebounds off the bench. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were without their star player Donovan Mitchell for the second straight game, Evan Mobley led the way with 33 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. Marcus Morris Sr., off the bench, 25 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 steals. Very good game for Marcus Morris. Max Strus, 12 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, and 7 rebounds, rather. Garland, 11 points and 9 assists. And that's really the notables from the box score. Here's the big numbers here. Boston shot 52.5% from the field. Cleveland, 48%. I know we always get on the Celtics for over-relying on the three-point shots, but tonight, they were hitting them tonight. 19 out of 43 for 44%. Cleveland, 13 of 31 for 41.9%. Free throws, Boston, 10 of 12 for 83%. Cleveland, 9 of 12, 75%. The rebounding edge. Offensive rebounds, 11-6 Boston. Defensive rebounds, 32-22 Boston. Overall, 43-28 rebounding to Boston. Boston, 32 assists, Cleveland 25. Boston, 6 steals, Cleveland 5. Boston, 6 blocks, Cleveland 2. The only downside is Boston committed 14 turnovers. Cleveland committed 10. 6-0, the fast break points for Boston. 42-40 points in the paint to Cleveland. Boston, 15 fouls, including 1 technical. Cleveland, 16 fouls. No flagrant fouls. Cleveland did have a lead. Cleveland led by as many as 6, but Boston led by as many as 17. It wasn't pretty at times. It was ugly at times. There were some small seeds of doubt. But at the end of the day, the Boston Celtics did what they were supposed to do. They held serve. They got hot late, and they finally broke away and put away a very scrappy, gutsy Cleveland Cavalier team who were missing their star player, Donovan Mitchell, for the second straight game. 113-98. Boston Celtics going back to the Eastern Conference Finals for the 3rd year in a row. The only difference is now, gentlemen, they will not have to face the Miami Heat this time around. It will either be the New York Knicks or the Indiana Pacers. Game 6 of that series Friday night in Indy. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, I only have one question for you, my friend, on this night after this big win. How you doing? Celtics, Eastern Conference Finals bound again.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, my team going back to the Eastern Conference Finals for the 3rd straight year, 6th time in the last 8 years. But you know what? Give the Cavs credit. I mean, they gave us all they can handle. I mean, Mobley had a big game, and Morris, what he did coming off the bench. I mean that was just crazy. But they somehow pulled away at the end, and like you said, now it's on to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they will await the winner of the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers series. Of course, Game 6 of that series will go down on Friday night. And I did hear some things regarding on when the Eastern Conference Finals will start. Depending on what happens with the remainder of the playoffs, if things go the way it is, I mean, if Game 1 of that Eastern Conference Finals could be on Sunday, but if not, and especially if there is a Game 7 of that Knicks-Pacers series, Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals will be on Tuesday. So we got to wait and see what happens. We could get our answer come Friday night. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more to say except a quick thought from you guys. I mean, especially Fletch. I mean, what do you think, Fletch? Celtics are heading back to the conference finals.
Yes, indeed. It was a big win for them, no doubt about it. They got the job done. They did exactly what they needed it to do. Props to Boston for winning it, and it's upward and onward for them heading into the next round. So, yes, Boston does win. They go to the Eastern Conference Finals. We are done for tonight. Tomorrow night, special edition of the TXN Sports World, as we will be previewing, and we're going to run it all down, guys. Every single game of the National Football League. We start with the first game. We found out what that's going to be, and we're going to go through every week. What matchups are we excited for? What matchups are we looking forward to? And we'll do that at 10:30 tomorrow night, Zone 25, hosted by Anthony Florio. Yes, Anthony?
You wanted to do it tomorrow? I thought we were doing it Friday.
Oh, Friday. I'm sorry.
Right.
I thought it was going to be tomorrow. No, it's going to be Friday at 10:30. All right, guys. I'm sorry. So Friday, 10:30, we'll do it. And then Saturday, Cerebral Smack Talk. And then we do it all over again Monday with Ridiculously Raw. So for Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock, for Michael Fletcher, saying so long, everybody. And we'll see you all on Friday.